Hi everyone, my name is Brittney Cassi, and together with Mike Homsher, we make up Intuitive Advisors. We've created this roadmap for success to serve as the guide to implement teams throughout domestic motors. Please join us on this journey and we'll guide you through our map. In order to know where we're headed, we must envision our destination. Our destination is a future where there are successfully implemented team structures in each department at Domestic Motors. In order to achieve teaming in all departments at the plant, we'll outline our implementation plan, create and describe structural changes necessary for implementation, and share with you a timeline of events based upon the streams necessary to achieve this change. The roadmap to success occurs within three phases: planning, mobilizing, and stabilizing. Actions occurring throughout those three phases are categorized into five main work streams. We utilize the RACI plus F structure to identify who owns each of those actions. The 12-month timeline here is outlined, and the blocks on the timeline are color coded to represent in which phase the action primarily occurs. In order to make sure the relevant parties are included in the leadership team, we have linked the union leadership and the plant leadership to make sure they are both abreast of the same information. Up at the top, you can see we went on to list the other stakeholders across those columns. You'll see team leaders, team members, trainers in HR, our customers, and then change management and project management. The focus of our actions aligned to the streams is to make sure that we are co-creating a guiding vision and identifying those first steps to pilot the team and the implementation plan. Additionally, we'll document best practices and conduct engagement check-ins with team members. We want to create a feedback loop with this information, and by having a continuous feedback loop, we can make sure that we're creating the pathway to sustain the momentum of the change. Also, we'll overcome resistance by making sure that we have the right people included at the right times. Here is our work stream overview. As you can see, we've outlined five work streams. Through change impact and stakeholder analysis, we'll identify the impacted groups and assess readiness and commitment. We'll provide consistent updates through our communication and engagement stream. We'll drive behaviors and create support through our readiness and adoption stream. We'll make sure we have the who involved using our strategy and alignment stream, and we'll follow up with the how by leveraging our training stream, making sure the necessary people are involved in the correct capacity. So join us now as we dive into the details of each stream on the following slides. Here is our first stream, and we start off by creating a change impact and stakeholder analysis stream. This stream is part of the planning and stabilizing portions of that roadmap. The actions will focus on assessments, partnerships, and gap analysis. We'll also document and capture evaluation metrics, create scorecards and follow up with lessons learned, and of course the evaluation of that return on investment. By focusing on the who in the stakeholder assessments, we're making sure we have the right people at the right time. This will ensure that we're co-creating the future of success. By co-creating and involving the necessary parties in planning that process, we can make sure that we're reducing the resistance to change. And by pre-planning who's involved, we are beginning with the end in mind. On the next couple streams, I will let Mike Homsher go ahead and take over. Mike.
Once we have gone through a good portion of the planning, we need to make sure we are communicating effectively. Our communications and engagement stream spans all three phases. To communicate effectively, we will audit the resources available and create a communication plan in training. The communication plans will be shared with leaders. We'll be including and promoting feedback loops to provide generative learning and engagement. This is all necessary to make sure we are bringing people with us on this journey of change. By bringing the necessary parties along, we are co-creating the desired future state. It is necessary to bring people along because people support and defend that which they help create. The readiness and adoption streams spans the mobilization and stabilization phases. Now that we have addressed the who and training needs, we are ready to move on to the how. This is where we will be selecting the team leaders, making sure we are aligned to meet business objectives. We will be accomplishing this by acting with a clear purpose. We are going to identify risks and come up with sustainability plans so that the risks can be mitigated. By identifying and mitigating risks and coming up with clear implementation plans that are aligned to plant and union leadership, we will be creating a framework which will help sustain the change initiative. The strategy and alignment stream encompasses the planning phase and part of the implementation phase. This is where we will work together to create the guiding vision for the company. We will be reviewing roles and aligning with the necessary parties to make sure all voices are heard. We will be determining the resources needed and co-defining team responsibilities and goals. We will accomplish this through a dedicated change management government governance strategy that encompasses members of the project management team. We will also drive change through our learnings from the focus groups that come from the pilot line. Through these actions, we will pave the way for a co-created future state. Training. The training stream has its core as part of the implementation phase. This is where the bulk of the work will be performed by the teams. We will conduct needs analysis while simultaneously performing and evaluating the training. We will make sure we are achieving the learning objectives. We will leverage our knowledge of what has worked and what hasn't worked at Domestic Motors from our learnings with the machining department. We will use train the trainer methodology to create a force multiplier. By creating a knowledgeable and empowered set of team members and leaders, we will drive success. We will make sure we are providing the tools necessary to accomplish the goals and meet the needs of each department. We've provided an overview of the roadmap to Team Domestic Motors departments. We have listed purpose and outcomes to meet the needs that were expressed to us by Domestic Motors. We shared the details of each of the 5 streams necessary to accomplish the change, and we have outlined clearly using the RACI plus F method who owns the action items along the way. Like all great change initiatives, there will be bumps along the way, but we are committed to persevering and overcoming the obstacles to co-create a brighter future with Domestic Motors, union, and plant leadership. We will leave you with a quote from Annette White. Design a life that you are inspired to live. Together, we will work with Domestic Motors and the stakeholders to create a roadmap that is designed to inspire a growth mindset while building on each department's strengths and abilities. We will work together to co-create a desired future state in which plant KPOs are elevated, reputation with customers is enhanced, and to provide the structure necessary to continue sustained growth. At the end of the journey, Domestic Motors will see the best in themselves and will be inspired to live the life they have designed.